So keywords, finding the keywords that are driving traffic and sales for you. I'm going to walk you through a process here that should give you the key elements that you need to understand the keywords that are driving the traffic and the sales in your market. So this is going to entail using the Google Keyword Tool, which a lot of folks are familiar with, semrush.com, alexa.com, and then lastly, suggestions data from a bunch of different websites. Google, Yahoo, Bing, Amazon, eBay, they spit out suggestions based on the first couple of letters that you start to type. So we're going to look at that data as well. So with the Google Keyword Tool, you really want to brainstorm broad keywords in your market. So these might be single word keywords, or two word keywords. I think is a good place to start. So a two word phrase or a single word phrase to really go broad in your market. So as I mentioned before, like baby toys would be a good broad keyword, or strollers might be a single term that you would use in your market. Be sure in the Google's keyword tool that you select exact match traffic numbers. By default, it's selected with broad match, which really isn't reflective of how many searches come in during the month. The numbers are way too big. Nowadays, one thing with mobile search being so big is that if you just use the generic Google keyword tool the way it gives you, the default is just to give you desktop search query information. So if you click on the advanced tab, you can drop down and also pull out the mobile data. So I think it's really important today to see what people are searching on their mobile phones. In many cases, it's vastly different than what they're going to search when they're on a desktop, just because of the way that with mobile it's just the way that we use mobile devices. It's much different than when we're typing on a desktop. So be sure to pull out the mobile data as well and combine that. So export both using those broad keywords. Try and pull out all the keywords that Google gives you back. It should be around 800, even more keywords, but around 800. So you're going to export those via CSV or Excel file so that you can manage them as we go through this process. semrush.com is another website that collects keyword data and all types of internet marketing data. We're going to focus on the keywords here. What you want to do is just type in your website URL into SEMrush, and they're going to kick back keywords that your website is about, or that you might be ranking for, or that they think your website is about. And they've collected this data with actual users, and they also scrape Google for some of this data as well. So the data is really good, and it's not always going to be what Google gives you. So we want to pull data from various sources so that you have a good mix of what the whole market looks like for you. They have paid accounts, and so what I would suggest is that using their free version, you can get a handful of the most important keywords. And if you go through this entire process, you'll have so many keywords to choose from to understand your market that even the free version of the data will be enough to get you going. So, and then grab your main keywords out of SEMrush and add those back into SEMrush. So both from your website domain and then the keywords that you feel are relevant to you, you can put the keyword back into SEMrush and get additional keywords that are relevant to that. So once you've pulled keywords that SEMrush feels are relevant to your website, you can pull those out and put them back into SEMrush to pull additional keywords that are related to those specific keywords. And then again, at the end, we want to put all this data back into that original CSV file that you pulled out of Google Keyword Tool. And then we're going to go to the next step. So Alexa.com, lots of folks are not familiar with Alexa. It's a site that's owned by Amazon now, but there's a thing called the Alexa toolbar that lots of people have installed on their web browsers, and they're collecting data all the time about which keywords are driving traffic to specific websites. So what you want to do is go to Alexa.com and again put your website URL into Alexa, and it's going to give you a lot of data similar to SEMrush about which keywords are driving traffic to your website. You may see a lot of branded keywords. So if you do have an existing brand in the marketplace, you may see a lot of branded keywords, but it's also going to give you a lot of market-related keywords that are not your brand, and that's really what you're after here. Again, grab those keywords, add them back to your CSV file, and we're just gathering in a bigger keyword list here. So as we move into the suggestions, Google suggestions are great for generating additional keywords that Google's not going to give you in their keyword tool. And so a great tool to do that is ubersuggest.org. And what they do is they essentially scrape Google suggestions when you put a keyword in there. And so they're going to give you back a big list of suggestions that you can't see just by typing one word. They're going to kind of automate the process for you. And again, what we want to do here is just put in a handful of those main keywords that represent your marketplace, and it's going to spit out a large list of keywords that you can put back into that CSV file. And these are great because they're keywords that Google isn't giving you in the keyword tool in most cases, and they're keywords that people are searching. Uber Suggestions is a great tool. With Yahoo Suggestions, same process, but unfortunately Uber only deals with Google. But I think it's important, even if you do this manually, use those keywords that you already know are relevant to your market. Just a handful of them, that's all you need. And then you can manually pick out the ones that you see that are relevant to your market. So we want to put those back into the CSV file. You want to look through the Yahoo suggestions, Bing suggestions, Amazon suggestions. So we want to look at different places that get high volumes of search traffic coming through and pull out keywords that are relevant to your market, because all these places, people search differently on different platforms. So you're going to find that because they're on Amazon, they're going to do more specific buying type searches than they would in Google, where they're probably doing more research and sort of learning about what they're interested in buying. So again, put all this stuff back into that original CSV file that we took out of Google Keyword Tool. Again, eBay, you're going to have buyer type search queries coming out of there that you don't get out of Google. And so lastly, we've got this CSV file, it's giant, it's loaded with keywords. What we want to do is take that huge list of keywords and shove it back into Google's keyword tool so that it gives us the traffic data that we're looking for to really start understanding our market and where the search is, how much traffic's coming through the various queries that we found in the marketplace. So take all those keywords and put them back into Google's keyword tool, and Google will give you the traffic and even the cost per click data which tells you how much advertisers are paying for that particular query to run their ads and how much the click on that ad costs. So that's going to help you understand which keywords are buying keywords and which keywords have traffic on them by getting that data out of Google. So again, put those keywords in Google, run them through Google, export them again via CSV, and bingo, you've basically got a huge list of keywords that are relevant to your market, and you understand the traffic and the cost per click, or how much advertisers are willing to spend for those particular keywords, which indicates buying intent for keywords. And so based on that, you really want to cherry pick from that giant list which keywords match well with the product sets or services that you offer, and which ones have good traffic numbers along with some buying intent. So the buying intent comes again from how much people are willing to pay for a click on an ad for that particular keyword.